Well, good morning and welcome back to the channel. We got the old freight shaker hooked up to the gooseneck and running, got the air pumping up. But what's this? What's this you say? Well, this is a Kubota KX057. We got it rented for the week, or 40 hours rather, which we always go over the hours. That never fails. But that's okay. The more work we can get out of this machine, the better. We've got to do some dirt work on Robert's farm, got to do some dirt work on my farm, and later on I'll explain to you why we rent this size machine. But for right now, we need to get going. Robert's getting his tractor ready to go. He's done checked the engine oil. Thing back here putting him some hydraulic oil in. So this cabinet right here, box here, that's where we keep funnels, engine oil, keep some water in there. There's one right there where he's got some mold for the gathering chains on the corn header. We can probably pull it out. But I always try to keep water, antifreeze, engine oil, hydraulic oil in there. Anything we might need for the tractor or the combine. It keeps us efficient, keeps us from having to go back to the shop and get something. Man, I would never want to go back to farming without this truck. Now, don't get me wrong, that truck represents a substantial investment. I bought this truck used, but I probably still have $20,000 in it between the truck and the bed and them underbody boxes. We're not going to, I already had the top boxes and the fuel tank and compressors that come off another truck. But when I bought this truck, I wanted to buy something that I could keep for a long time. I plan on keeping it till it's just plumb wore out. When I first started farming, one of the biggest mistakes I made was I never looked further enough to the future. And I'm trying, the older I get and the more I farm, I'm trying, when I purchase something, I want to look into the future enough that I can keep it a long time, because this equipment is a substantial investment and I just can't afford to be trading all the time. So that's why I went on and bought a nicer truck. We had an 86 Ford F350 that everybody hated to drive, but it got that 86 Ford F350, it got to the point where it was hard to start. And this is one item that has to crank and go when you need it. You need it there. But that 86 Ford was a single cab. I'm a big old boy. And then Robert is with me. And then if Daddy is helping us, that was a cab full in that old Ford. And then you throw corn dog into the mixture and then there you go. But that's something that needed to be reliable. But I don't know where I would be without this truck. I don't regret buying it for 1 minute. I tell you what I did when I first started though. I've always had my tools and fuel tank and compressor air at the shop. I had all that on. I had a little, had a home built 6x12 trailer. And I had all that on there. And I pulled that trailer around with me. So that's just an idea. If you can't really afford a truck, that's what I done when I couldn't afford a whole separate truck. I had that 6x12 trailer fixed up with all that stuff on there. Man, it worked slick. I just got tired of hooking and unhooking it all the time. Yeah.
That not have a turning wheel.
It don't have a turner spinning wheel. It don't have a steering wheel?
No.
That's right, it's got pedals that drives it.
Dad.
Alright.
Hurry, Dad.
What are we doing today?
Digging it.
Digging with it.
Dad.
So Bob had a little bit of an issue, didn't he? We're over here on the new farm that Robert bought, and we knew that he had this issue when he bought it. But we're trying to correct that issue. Got pretty bad wash coming off this hill. We're fixing to put in 2 sediment basins, silt basins, tires, levee, whatever you want to call them. This is what they call a Hickenbottom T and riser. We are going to build a dam behind it, and it'll slow that water. And as it fills up, the water runs into these holes and down into the pipe and down to the ditch. So it's designed that as it fills up, you get more flow because you got more hose and therefore runs the water faster. But it starts out running the water slow, and then as the water increases, the flow increases. But we got the pipe laid down here to the end of the hill. I know that the ditch is crooked, or how I dug it is crooked, but I just followed the ditch that was already there. No sense in digging a whole new ditch. Just cleaned it out, shaped it, got it on grade. This is the second riser. It is teed into that line. I have learned that the further you can pipe the water underground, the better you will be. We're using this single wall pipe. Robert, being a beginning farmer, he is on a budget, so he just bought what he could afford. Double wall pipe or the SDR plastic pipe would probably be better, but man, you gotta start somewhere. Rome wasn't built overnight, as the saying goes. We are running a Kubota KX057 Mini X today, mini excavator. I really like this machine. It is a good size machine for products like this. Now, if you was doing land clearing, I've cleared some ground with it, and it does a good job, but there's just only so much you can handle. Back earlier this spring, if you've been with us from the very beginning when we started this channel, we rented a case something 55. It's supposed to be the same size machine as this Kubota, but this Kubota will run circles around it. I mean, there wasn't nothing wrong with the case, but I've run this KX57, and the only reason I didn't get it this spring is because it wasn't available. So I rented the case 55, but this Kubota will walk circles around it, in my opinion. Keep going. There you go. Now back her up. You doing good. We might make a track hole operator out of you, son. Blew a hydraulic line, and while we were stopped, we just went on and replaced the other one. It wasn't far behind it. It had absolutely no rubber left on it. Looking for 7/8. This other one's gonna be a 2-hand job. Shh. Listen to the wind. If you listen closely, you can hear the sound of a real American horsepower headed this way. That is a 4-inch straight pipe. Bellering, son. Robert ain't gonna sneak up on nobody. That's for dang sure. He's bringing the tractor with the blade and the box blade over here. We thought we could get by with the dozer blade on the little track hole, but it's just too slow, and time is money. Got to go over here to the cable tie organizer, get some cable ties, tie these hoses up where they cannot get pinched. That's what happened to the other one. The hose got pinched. Robert will be fussing at me for filming and not working, but I'm gonna get a couple shots anyways. He's taking that box blade, slicking this first tires up, fixing to put the transit on it and shoot it. I think it's gonna have to have a little more. I ain't satisfied with it yet. I'm gonna need the sun at my back. I'll try to get some better ones here in a minute. I gotta check the hydraulic oil in my 4650 and see how much we lost. Well, it's just as I figured. It's right there on the ad. It's borderline. It's on the ad mark, so I'm gonna go and put some in. Better safe than sorry. I don't normally run this hydraulic oil. I normally run Scenics, but we ran to Trenton, got about to eat, and they made them hoses while we was eating lunch, and I just grabbed a bucket of, well, actually I grabbed 10 gallons of that oil to keep from having to pump some up at the shop. We'll pump some more up in the morning. So you gotta be a dang acrobat to put hydraulic oil in these tractors. Gotta be a weightlifter and an acrobat. I hate pouring oil in a tractor with a 5-gallon bucket. Dang things don't never pour good. I spit my red man. Another one of my many bad habits I have. Pull the cork. I'm gonna tell you a little secret on these 5-gallon buckets. The first little bit, if you put the spout on the top instead of on the bottom, it won't glug on you. And be sure to pour 2 to 5 gallons out on the ground. 2 hydraulic hoses and 2 buckets of oil was $214. And that was with me returning 2 belts. One belt was $14 and one was $22. But I got a new shiny red feed bucket for my hogs. Well, I believe we're ready to go. And that is one example of why I like that service truck. Can you imagine we're about 15 minutes from the house. We'd have to run home, get the wrenches. Chances are I probably wouldn't grab the right wrenches. And then I have to come back here and then run to town and get it. I love them tools here in the field with us. Love that truck.
What to do it?
Well, alright, come on. You're burning daylight and that's a precious commodity right now. Bless his little old heart, he wants to help, and he does do a good job helping sometimes, but there's some things he just ain't got figured out yet. Okay, that's fine. Go down there. We're gonna try this. I doubt it works. No, that big old pile of dirt down there we piled. Go down there and stand it up on it. This is my transit. What it does, they take that pole down there and hold it up for me, and it's got numbers. And I read those numbers, and that tells me how much water holding capacity that dam's gonna have and how much more we need to build it up and stuff similar. And I think I am overshooting them. I'm probably gonna have to move down the hill. Yep, because I'm looking over at the top of a house. Alright. You are at 6'9", almost 4 foot. What we're doing, we're taking my transit and we're shooting this. He's carrying a pole that has numbers on it that corresponds to feet and tenths of a feet. It's in tenths, not. So it'd be like every tenth is 1.2 inches. Now he's gonna shoot the natural ground out there and see where we're at. We're shooting, it needs to be, alright, he's at 3.3 there on natural ground. Alright, come back to me. 3.3, and he's at 3 on the top. So we need to make sure it comes out to 3 foot right here. What we're he is at 3.3 right there. But I'm probably gonna take the pan and cut that out and that draw one more time and lay it on the top, and then we got to taper the back side of this some more where it's easier to work across. You're at 3.7, you low right there.